What if I told you that your fastest path to wealth is not working harder, but working closer to millionaires and billionaires? Most people chase money. Smart people chase proximity. Because when you partner with people who think in millions and billions, your mind, your income, and your destiny shifts to a whole new level. Most people believe money comes from working harder, longer, and faster, but that belief keeps them trapped in labor income forever. Here is the truth. Millionaires and billionaires do not partner with workers. They partner with value creators. Labor income is limited by time, but value creation is limited only by imagination, systems, and leverage. If your income stops when you stop working, you are not in the wealth game. You are in the survival game. The wealthy understand that money flows to problems solved at scale. The bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the check you command. That is why the fastest way to partner with the wealthy is to shift your identity from employee to value architect. Ask yourself, what outcome can I produce that directly increases profit, reduces cost, or expands market reach? Because when you control outcomes, you control income. Here's a powerful hook. You don't get paid for effort. You get paid for results. A billionaire does not care how hard you work. They care how much value you bring to their ecosystem. If you can create a system that generates leads, converts customers, automates operations, or amplifies brand authority, you become an asset, not an expense. Assets attract partnerships. Expenses attract supervision. This is why knowledge workers who create intellectual property, systems, or scalable solutions rise faster than those who trade hours for dollars. Think like an economist. Value is created when resources are transformed into something more productive. When you build a process, platform, or strategy that multiplies productivity, you are literally manufacturing wealth. Rich people look for people who can increase marginal returns and reduce inefficiencies. They don't want another worker. They want a multiplier. Let me give you another hook. Your value determines your leverage, and your leverage determines your income. When you bring unique, scalable value, you gain negotiation power. You can ask for equity, revenue share, or strategic partnerships instead of a paycheck. That is how ordinary people enter extraordinary rooms. So stop asking, how can I earn more? And start asking, how can I create more value at scale? Because when you become a value creator, millionaires and billionaires will not just notice you, they will seek you out. Leverage is the difference between ordinary income and extraordinary wealth. Most people are stuck in a one-to-one model. 1 hour of work equals 1 hour of pay. That model has a ceiling, and that ceiling is painfully low. Millionaires and billionaires escape that ceiling by using leverage systems, people, capital, and technology that multiply results without multiplying effort. Here's the hook. Wealthy people don't work harder. They work smarter through leverage. They design machines that produce money while they sleep, think, and strategize. Scalability is the economic engine behind leverage. If what you do cannot scale, it cannot attract high-level partnerships. Rich individuals look for opportunities that grow exponentially, not linearly. A salesperson can close one deal at a time, but a scalable system can close 10,000 deals automatically. A teacher can teach one class, but a digital course can educate millions. When you build something that scales, you step into the same economic language that billionaires speak. Think about this hook. Your income will never outgrow your systems. If you depend on manual effort, your income is fragile. If you depend on systems, your income becomes predictable, repeatable, and expandable. That is why billionaires invest in automation, platforms, franchises, and digital infrastructure. They are not buying assets. They're buying leverage. When you approach a millionaire with a scalable solution, marketing funnels, automated sales processes, AI tools, content systems, or distribution networks, you are no longer asking for a job. You are presenting a growth engine. Growth engines attract partnerships. Rich people want partners who can multiply their capital, not consume it. Here's another hook. Scalability turns talent into an empire. A single skill, when systemized, becomes a global business. When you learn to document, delegate, and digitize your expertise, you transform yourself into a scalable asset. That is the language of venture capital, private equity, and high-level entrepreneurship. Leverage also reduces risk. When systems run the business is not dependent on one person. Investors and wealthy partners value businesses that function without constant human input. They pay premiums for scalable models because scalability creates stability, and stability attracts capital. If you want to partner with millionaires and billionaires, stop thinking like a freelancer and start thinking like a systems architect. Ask yourself how your skill can be multiplied by people, processes, platforms, and capital. Because when your impact scales, your opportunities scale. And when your opportunities scale, your income becomes unlimited. Most people think networking is small talk and business cards. But in economics, your network is a form of capital. It is social capital. And just like financial capital, it produces returns over time. Here's the hook. Money follows relationships, and relationships follow value. The people you know determine the opportunities you see, the deals you access, and the speed at which your income grows. If your circle is small, your opportunities will be small. If your circle is powerful, your possibilities become limitless. Social capital works like compound interest. One relationship can lead to another, and that connection can unlock deals, partnerships, mentorship, and capital. Billionaires rarely succeed alone. They operate inside elite ecosystems where information, opportunities, and resources flow rapidly. When you enter those ecosystems, you tap into invisible advantages that most people never experience. Think about this hook. Your bank account often reflects your contact list. If everyone around you struggles financially, you inherit their mindset, their habits, and their limitations. But when you surround yourself with millionaires, your thinking expands, your standards rise, and your expectations shift. Proximity changes perspective, and perspective changes performance. In economics, networks reduce transaction costs. Trust lowers barriers, speeds up deals, and increases collaboration. When wealthy individuals trust you, they move faster, invest quicker, and open doors that would otherwise remain closed. That is why credibility and consistency are more valuable than talent alone. A trusted partner is more valuable than a skilled stranger. Here is another hook. Information travels faster in powerful rooms. Rich networks share insights, market trends, investment opportunities, and strategic knowledge before the public ever hears about them. Being in the right circle gives you early access to high-value information. And in economics, information asymmetry is profit. Social capital also increases your perceived value. When respected people vouch for you, your reputation multiplies. Endorsements, referrals, and introductions create a ripple effect that attracts even more high-level connections. It is a positive feedback loop. Strong relationships create strong opportunities, and strong opportunities attract stronger relationships. If you want to partner with millionaires and billionaires, you must intentionally invest in your network. Attend elite events, join masterminds, contribute value to high-level communities, and build genuine relationships. Because in the modern economy, who knows you is often more powerful than what you know. In economics, comparative advantage is the reason trade exists, partnerships form, and wealth multiplies. Most people try to be average at everything, but wealthy individuals look for specialists who dominate one area. Here's the hook. If you are replaceable, you are forgettable. Millionaires and billionaires partner with people who do something so well that it would be irrational not to collaborate with them. Your comparative advantage is the skill, insight, or system you can deliver better, faster, or cheaper than anyone else. That is what turns you from an option into a necessity. Think about this hook. The market rewards uniqueness, not effort. If you do what everyone else does, you compete on price and struggle. If you do what few can do, you set the price and attract elite partners. Wealthy individuals constantly look for asymmetric advantages, something that gives them an edge over competitors. When you bring that edge, you become part of their strategic advantage. Comparative advantage is not about being perfect. It is about being different and effective. A marketer who understands consumer psychology, a technologist who builds automation, a strategist who identifies growth opportunities, each creates value that others cannot easily replicate. When your skill reduces friction or increases returns, you become a high-value node in the economic system. Here's another hook. Specialization creates leverage. Generalists get hired. Specialists get partnered. When you narrow your focus and deepen your expertise, you increase your bargaining power. Wealthy partners prefer collaboration with experts because expertise lowers risk and increases expected returns. In economic terms, your specialized skill increases marginal productivity, and higher productivity commands higher compensation and equity. Comparative advantage also compounds over time. The more you practice and refine a niche skill, the harder it becomes for others to compete with you. This creates barriers to entry, which in economics is a powerful driver of profit. When you control a niche, you control pricing, partnerships, and positioning. If you want to attract millionaires and billionaires, identify where your strengths intersect with market demand and high-value outcomes. Build proof through results, case studies, and performance metrics. When you demonstrate that your skill produces predictable returns, wealthy individuals will view you not as a cost, but as a strategic asset. Because in a competitive economy, the rarest skill wins, and the rarest skill attracts the richest partners. Wealthy individuals understand that fixed salaries limit upside, while equity aligns incentives and multiplies wealth. Most people chase guaranteed paychecks, but millionaires and billionaires chase ownership. Here's the hook. Employees earn income, partners build wealth. When you structure collaborations around equity and shared outcomes, you transform a transaction into a wealth-building engine. Rich people prefer partnerships where everyone wins, because aligned incentives create exponential growth. In economics, risk sharing is a rational strategy. When multiple parties share risk, they are more willing to invest time, capital, and expertise. Equity-based collaboration spreads uncertainty while multiplying potential rewards. That is why venture capitalists, founders, and investors structure deals around ownership stakes rather than hourly compensation. They are not buying labor, they are buying alignment. Think about this hook. Salary is predictable, equity is powerful. A paycheck gives security, but ownership gives freedom. When you offer a millionaire a partnership that aligns your success with their success, you speak their language. They want partners who think like owners, not workers who think like clock watchers. When your income depends on results, you naturally focus on growth, innovation, and long-term value creation. Equity partnerships also increase commitment. When everyone has skin in the game, performance rises. Economically, this reduces agency problems, the conflict between workers and owners. When you're both, you act in the best interest of the business. Billionaires know this, which is why they offer equity to key partners, executives, and collaborators. They understand that ownership creates responsibility, and responsibility creates results. Here's another hook. Risk shared is risk reduced, but reward shared is reward multiplied. When you bring capital, skills, or strategic advantage into a partnership, you justify an equity stake. This structure turns collaboration into a compounding asset. Over time, equity appreciates, dividends flow, and your wealth grows without trading hours for money. Equity-based collaboration also attracts capital. Investors prefer businesses with aligned stakeholders because alignment signals stability and long-term vision. When partners share ownership, they share vision, and shared vision accelerates growth. If you want to partner with millionaires and billionaires, stop asking for wages and start offering partnership frameworks. Show how your contribution increases valuation, revenue, or market dominance, and propose equity-based models that align incentives. Because in the wealth economy, ownership is the ultimate currency, and aligned ownership is the gateway to extraordinary partnerships. Trust is one of the most undervalued assets in the modern economy, yet it is one of the most powerful drivers of wealth creation. Millionaires and billionaires treat reputation like currency because in high-level markets, credibility reduces friction and speeds up deals. Here's the hook. Money moves at the speed of trust. When people trust you, they invest faster, partner faster, and decide faster. When they don't, every deal becomes expensive, slow, and uncertain. In economics, trust lowers transaction costs. Contracts become simpler, negotiations become shorter, and opportunities become more frequent. Wealthy individuals guard their time and brand fiercely, so they only collaborate with people who protect both. Your reputation becomes a signal to the market about your reliability, competence, and integrity. A strong signal attracts premium opportunities. A weak signal repels them. Think about this hook. Your character is your collateral. Many high-level deals happen on a handshake because reputation replaces paperwork. Billionaires often do business with people they have known for years because consistency creates predictability, and predictability reduces risk. When you consistently deliver results, you become a low-risk, high-value partner. And risk-adjusted returns are everything in economics. Reputation compounds just like capital. One successful project leads to referrals, testimonials, and introductions. Each success strengthens your brand equity, and brand equity attracts more deals. This creates a virtuous cycle where trust generates opportunities, and opportunities generate more trust. In economic terms, reputation becomes an intangible asset that produces cash flow over time. Here's another hook. Credibility is leverage you don't have to pay for. When people trust you, you gain influence without spending money. Influence attracts capital, partnerships, and market power. This is why wealthy individuals invest heavily in personal branding, transparency, and long-term relationships. They understand that reputation is not built in days, but destroyed in seconds. Trust also affects valuation. Companies with strong leadership, credibility, transparent governance, and reliable performance command higher market valuations. Investors pay premiums for trust because uncertainty is expensive. When you embody trust, you increase your perceived value as a partner, executive, or entrepreneur. If you want to partner with millionaires and billionaires, treat every promise like a contract and every action like a brand message. Deliver on time, exceed expectations, and operate with integrity even when no one is watching. Because in the high-stakes economy, trust is not just a moral principle. It is a strategic economic asset that unlocks elite partnerships and unlimited opportunities. So today, I challenge you to stop chasing paychecks and start chasing partnerships. Stop asking for jobs and start creating value. Stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like an owner. If you want millionaire results, you must think like a millionaire. If you want billionaire partnerships, you must bring billionaire-level value. Your breakthrough is not in isolation. Your breakthrough is in collaboration. And remember this, you are one relationship away from a completely different life. Go build it. Go earn it. Go partner with greatness.